another question. How many of you here have a power drill in your home? Please raise your hand.
A what?
Okay. Now, did you know that an average power drill is used approximately 12 to 13 minutes during its entire lifetime? Well, 13 minutes. Now, that's a lot, not a lot. In fact, if only we had a convenient way to share this drill, one power drill would easily be enough for all the people in this auditorium. Now, another question. How many of you own a car? Again, tens of people. You know that of all the 1 million people, cars driving the streets of the world, approximately 80% of all car seats in them are empty. So basically, if we could fill up all these seats, we could instantly remove hundreds of millions of cars from the streets of the world. Now, lately there has been a lot of talk about the state of our planet. There's been a lot of concern whether we have enough resources to support our ever-growing population. Now, my claim is that we do have enough resources for everybody. The problem is we are wasting them away. We are not using them effectively enough, and that's why we are running out of them. So, what we need to do is to start using these resources more efficiently. To do that, we have to start sharing. So how do we do that? First, we have to realize what is it we really need. It's not the drill that we really need, it's the hoe. It's not the car, it's a convenient way to get from place A to place B when we need. It's this value that these assets provide, and to gain this value, we don't have to own the asset. We just have to have access to it at the proper time. Now, this paradigm of access instead of ownership works already pretty well in the digital world. Let's take music, for example. This is a service called Spotify. How it works is that I pay them 10 euros, which is about 1,000 yens a month, and in turn, I get access to all the music in the world. I can play it anytime, anywhere. At home, at work, when I'm jogging and have my mobile phone with me. All the content is streamed right from the internet, so it's not there cluttering up my hard drive. Netflix does the same for movie. I can just find the title I want and press play. So it seems, and what these tools are doing is that they are actually making people to do the right thing. Now, the record industry of Sweden recently found that while the use of Spotify in their country is going up, at the same time, the amount of piracy is going down. From year 2009, when Spotify started to gain traction, the amount of piracy, the music piracy dropped from until the year 2011, approximately 25%. So when people have convenient enough way to legally get the resources they need, they don't have to resort to illegal means. They will do the right thing. So it seems that we already have pretty decent ways to clean up our hard drives. What about our closets? If we had a similar convenient way to share all these tangible assets we have, would people, again, start doing the right thing. In this case, to consume less and to share more. Obviously, this is a bit more difficult not to crack, since one item cannot be in multiple places at the same time, just like digital content. Still, given all the benefits of sharing, I think it really should be a no-brainer that everybody should share more. Now, as it turns out, this whole thing about saving the planet is merely just a byproduct of sharing. Now, let's look at the power drill once more. Which one is more convenient for me if I need a hoe to my wall? To go to the store and buy a new drill, or instead rent or borrow one next door from my neighbor. If I do the latter, I'll probably end up saving a lot of money. These things can cost a lot. Also, if my neighbor is renting it to me, he might end up making some money in the process just by using his existing dealers. Also, I save some time. I don't have to go all the way up to the store. I can just get what I want right from the next door. And what's more, in the process, I actually start talking to this person, maybe even get to know him. Now, everybody wants to save money. Everybody wants to save their time. Most people are also concerned about the state of the environment, want to do something about it. With sharing, you can do all this, and at the same time, connect with the community around us. Now, the big question is, why on earth don't we share more? My answer is that it boils down to the same issue than with the digital resources: convenience. We don't yet have that convenient way to share our physical assets. There's multiple barriers preventing us from sharing. The first obvious one is location. We need to have the asset exactly where we are when we need it. Otherwise, the sharing doesn't work. It's more convenient to go to the store. Also, there are more social concerns. We are really reluctant to ask people for help. It's not easy for us. We feel that we become indebted. In fact, in our study, we found that many people are really eager to help each other out. But when they should ask for help for something that they need, it's really difficult for them. They don't want to owe this person, so they don't ask for help. They struggle on their own. And the third big issue is the question about trust. Now, if I want to rent my power drill, let alone my car, to a stranger, I really have to trust this person to actually bring it back in one piece. Now, even though most people try their best, still accidents somehow happen, and we really have to do something about this trust issue. So, there are all these big barriers. What can we do to them? Now, again, just like with the digital resources, I believe that the internet can again come to rescue. First of all, the location. Now, obviously, we have all this technology like online maps and mobile phones showing our exact location. So it's really easy to build technology that we can just do a quick search based on our location on where would be a nearest power drill. And we can easily put our physical assets on a map. So you can just see, okay, so my neighbor has one right next door. Then, how about the issue of feeling indebtedness and owing to the other person? And this is an image from a Finnish time banking community. Now, how time banking works is that if I help somebody out for, let's say, 2 hours, I help fix their computer or take care of their children or something like that, then I get 2 time credits for that. And for those 2, each credit is 1 hour. And for each credit, I can get 1 hour of help from somebody else. So the person asking help from me doesn't have to feel indebted. He knows that I get something back from helping. I get something back from another member of the community. And all these credits are calculated automatically by the online system that the community is using. Then, the problem of trust. Again, online marketplaces have multiple ways to tackle these issues. For instance, the one problem most well known to everybody is testimonials from other people. Most known example of this is eBay, the online auction site. Here, you have a profile of a person who is selling his stuff in eBay. Now what you notice here are the ratings from other people who have bought something from this person. And they have rated this person based on what was the product actually like it should be, was it delivered on time, and so on. And what this makes possible is that when I go there in the system and wonder whether I should buy something from this person, I instantly see that this might be a trustworthy person. Other people have said that he is trustworthy. Now this is, research has actually shown that it's really vital for people selling something in eBay to have a good reputation. They can make more money in the service. They can sell their goods on a higher price if only they have a good reputation in the system, because people trust them more and are willing to pay a higher price. So all these barriers that I mentioned can be tackled by online technologies. In fact, another good example of conveying trust is using data from our existing social networks. Now this is a site called Airbnb. What Airbnb does is it allows people to rent apartments or even couches from each other when they are on vacation and staying in other cities. And what they are doing is using data from our existing social networks. So, for instance, this guy in France renting his apartment, for instance, I can instantly see that he has some friends in the service, so I already start trusting him more. So he has a large last social network himself. But what's even more important is that they're using Facebook Connect to show that I actually have one friend in common with this person, and this is an instant recommendation. Okay, so this person in France has one friend in common with me, and this person can probably recommend. So I instantly trust it all. So there are currently multiple marketplaces like this tackling these challenges, and in fact, this phenomenon of sharing is rising fast. Sometimes it's called collaborative consumption or the new sharing economy. Basically, it means sharing all your physical assets, your goods, but also your skills and your time using this kind of online tools. Now, still, somehow I feel that even though millions of people have already engaged with this phenomenon, we are not quite there yet. How many people in this room have used any of these services? Not that many. So, it seems that we are not quite there yet. This is still not yet something that is mainstream. To it become mainstream, it needs to be part of our culture, it needs to be part of our lifeblood. How do we do that? Is that even possible? Is it in the human nature to share it? I do think that it is. Because if you go back, so let's say 50 or 100 years, we see that people actually used to do that. We used to live, this is actually a picture of a village in Japan, actually a pretty modern one. Anyway, people used to live in these smaller communities, village communities, where people knew each other and helped each other out, and they shared all what they had. We used to have this culture of sharing, and somewhere along the way, we lost it. We moved to these big cities, and now we live right next to each other in these huge buildings, and yet we barely even know our neighbors, let alone sharing with them. Now, this culture of sharing is something that we want to create. And when I talk about this culture of sharing, I'm not just talking about sharing between individuals. I'm also talking about sharing in organizations. Now, your average company, for instance, is usually not an organization that is sharing much. In fact, most companies are trying to do the best that they can to keep everything they have a secret and not sharing anything with their competitors, because they're afraid that those competitors might then steal from them. Now, what my company does is to build these kind of marketplaces I showed, where people can share stuff, and for organizations like universities or associations or companies. And when we are creating our company, we realized that if we want to promote this culture of sharing, we have to start from ourselves. As a company, we ourselves have to embrace this culture of sharing. And that's when I remember when we were at this lecture, when this lawyer was telling us about startups and how you build one. And he was showing us all this paperwork you have to do. You have to write all these NDA agreements with your employees, and you have to have all these patents to protect your technology. And we look at ourselves and imagine all this work just to prevent others from benefiting on your innovations. We realized that this is not something that we want to do. We want to do things in a different way. And so we came up with the concept of open enterprise, where we want to share as much of what we have as possible. And we came up with 3 cornerstones of open data, open technology, and open process. If we go to data first, many companies have all this valuable data that they are not sharing with each other. For instance, let's think about grocery shops. They usually, at least big chains, are tracking what you're purchasing from them. And then based on that data, they profile you. So basically, they have your whole consumption history in their databases. Imagine if you can get access to that database. What you could do if you would suddenly know everything that you have ever bought. They have that data, and it would be really valuable if only they could have some way to share it. Another good example are services like Facebook and Twitter, which have already done this. They have already become platforms. They are sharing their data, and people are building all these huge, great innovations on top of that data. In our case, the data includes all the assets, all the physical assets that people are sharing around the world. And the same way, we want to bring this data available to other companies to build great innovations on top of that. Now then, the second one is about the open technology. So we are a software company, so obviously we are using only open source code. All our technology is open source. Because we think that open source is a great encapsulation of this whole sharing phenomenon. It's about sharing your resources so that the wheel doesn't have to be reinvented once again. Then, third thing is about our process. Again, so for instance, we have all these documents, we have all these contracts or all these applications we do, and we try to put as much of them as we can to an open folder, so everyone can just instantly look, hey, what are these guys doing? So again, they don't have to every time create their own documents and spend needless work on that. They can just focus on what's most important for them. Also, when we do something wrong or something right, we try to write about it on our blog so that others wouldn't have to do the same mistake all over again. Now, then, as I mentioned, there are multiple marketplaces doing these sharing services, and all these companies are currently really not that much working with each other, and I really think that is something that also must happen. Not just people who have to start sharing more, but also we as companies have to start sharing more with each other. We have a common goal of promoting this culture of sharing, and we can only success in that if we do that work together. I believe that good things come to those who share. Today is a good time to start. Thank you.